Hello everyone. Anywho, yeah, y'all cool. And Pai said, she is a fool. Yeah, she's a fool. Hey, Pai, y'all. Yeah, y'all. I'm gonna tell you right now, Pai. There's a dumbass in Thailand that didn't say, "Nu zao xia tua Pai ya, nu zao ke ta Pai." Pai said, "Thầu ở Pai trâu chồng đấy có tuần hình trong hình tua cái ta, ya tua cái ta." Ý tuần này bọt đá, có chỉ bảo à Pai mỗi cái hình tua ya, sure, ya, mua chân cơ. Nữ dân chỉ bóng tờ phải, nữ chỉ bóng tờ có bao lâu đã là your paper dojo paper xong long yeah. Don't listen to that Burr, yeah. Burr piece of shit right there. You see him, kill him, you kill him, got him. And he's a piece of fucking Burmese, yeah, that's real. And I'll tell you right now, by real, yeah, real. That's from Demons, yeah. From Saucers. The dumbass didn't believe you, Pai. Fucking shit, no, come on, yeah. He learned right there, Nim Opi, Pai that's some yeah. And she said, Pai, nu chin chin got and then nu dai tua ya. Bé bùa đâu cho bé Pai xong lò nó ở Pai nên ngủ chi xong rồi đó. Yo Pai nó hai ninh sa mông cho cái tí cho phong như ya một chân. Cho nó yo polo đá mông lo cho ya yo cơ. Cho nó mà theo bù Pai và phát đại yo cơ. Cái chỉ bao đầu giờ mình thấy ya. Pai lấy cho phát đại nữa ya một chân. Bây giờ có sai thì phát tại coming lấy được là coming lấy bao bộ phá xong cũng thì là từ giờ ra nó inda na nữa là yêu vấn đề là yêu vấn đề họ mà bé cho nhảy tao cá nữa chủ sĩ tại vì mà mua chấm nhựa đá inda đá bây giờ thì tao cá nữa ra đã có là tu về mua phải bao lâu đá lên dân cho phát tại có món nữa phải là thế dân nhiều phải thế dân tiêu chứ cú chỉ cái gì有领导好呀，有领导好没多呀，冇真。这错还能都带用发带啦，你多你多有热super 手用力的人，个都用力拿嚟落多嘛，佢有发带呀，佢有发带啊，还有哪个那牌，还点冇手只每度都姐叫了哪子呀了哪子了，了做那么多有做那么多的呀。Pai mà Pai mua Pai ở tù và so ngáo tân đã chín chúa Pai tuổi dân lợi ở tuổi dân lợi Pai đà này rất là Pai hành bộ chứ nó có phải tuổi chua bộ trillion tù 900 trillion times 80 times 80 yep, Israel gods and white gods per second that's real it's recorded by dragon gods from every nation real Pai you did that you did that and then he says when you do 900 trillion and you do 50,000, you is near your sun. Yeah, near your sun's real speed. That's true. Because the dung gai jiao in the map 900 trillion times. Chi jiao pa do yi jiao pa boy. I'm watching. In zai mo si ya. Ifeng ya watching. Pa with 900 trillion. Yi jiao po ya. Ifeng ya. Jeng su. Le tia hai tia va so. Có here có yo cho nên nhiên the phát tài mà đôi có yo. Phải sẽ có nhiên the Palestinian. Nhập có yo. Lời chọn ta chín chúa coi cho tù nia Israel ta chỉ sẽ có một tổ chức này à một tổ chức là tiền kia tù bọn Jerusalem là cho là một tổ chức tiền kia giờ mua bao áo ta họ áo này就phải mất cái chơi kia ya cái chơi phải cố cho ít luôn tới chờ bố hiện vì đâu có để tay nào lớn nhà tù nia English tù nia đó tù bao lâu giờ ta họ áo gì à một chuyện hiện họ cũng chỉ biết à phải á tù tuổi nên dù có tí plan được sai chả bao lâu mà đu phát tại inda đâu nữa tao ông nó người lo sao lần sai vì người giờ luôn mà đu itu cái ta sĩ cho hưởng luôn mà đu phải là mua cho nên chơi mua luôn mà đu tổ này bọt chơi thằng đây phải có một trò xe lên cái tu này cho lâu quá ta sĩ cho kia nó có phải con tàu ý tu做总统ở phải一半呢ở phải下半呢盘半了嘛跑嘛到 Jerusalem 意tu cả đu tụi chỉ nên đủ này giờ lợi cho bỏ phát tài đó lợi cho nhẹ cho chỉ sống đủ cho đó chỉ phải muốn đầu tư phải thay thế điều chứ phải muốn đừng bỏ thuộc cái phải cho chân ta chúa lại thuộc cái nào mà lại sống đủ xem được thuộc cái phải mà nếu chân trai cái phải nếu trai Cambodia knows the truth there are 400,000 King Cobra emperors by those are the upper body human and tail Cobra pies from the bloodline. Yeah, the Burmese bloodline, the upper tail, the upper body human, the tail Cobra, 363,000 years old to 2025 year today. That's 100% law. That's true. Yeah, that's why Pies Grandma Lauhog royalty. The crown is drawing on the internet. Those are real, spur the eye full big hogs from Perma edition. And you, Pi, you're not like the Burmese. You're not like the Cambodian. Their beaks are smaller. And right there, Pi, they beat the shit out of you. They wrote you as the father. They got their son. That's true. That's right. Because we have the green sword. We have the green sword. Yaka. And Pi, he says, you, Pi, you legendary because Pi murdered 43 Africans. Yeah, that's true. Yep, level 7s. And then you see it in the future. Real, 4,000. 4,000 English calendar, 4,000 year. Near there. Yeah, it's near there. It's 3,800, 900. Yeah, right around there. Pi, you murdered them right there on Earth. And you showed them that you didn't fear them. You're faster, but 9 hours. You murdered off the Jerusalem mom. That's true, Pi told her, Pi not need you in Asia side of the heaven. That's true, that's law. Pi's a good law. Pay to near killer. And then there was one more fucker that doubted Pi. Hey, Pi, he says, how come you not love the fucking white people you love House on Yaka? Your demon is supposed to work with Pi until they're wealthy enough to come in, to come to summon you down to earth, and then you can go live with your demon that works for Pi. That's true, your demon's nation, Yaka. And then right there, you didn't believe your Pi. You have 48 Persian demons and a few are European, because Pi's lucky. And then right there, they knew it. Right there, Grandma and Grandpa really owns them in Dragon Second. That's true, that's Law's doors. Right there, right when he wasn't looking, Pi is supposed to let the demon, go work first and acquire enough wealth. And then he lies, Pi. He went right in, and then Pi enslaved him. That's true, that's Law. Pi told you that the fine print is they enter first and they work for Pi. And then they gain more space and space buildings. And then, then when they're wealthy, you can move in. That's true, 5 hours later, he says, what is that fucking shit? He thinks he's so tough. And later on in life, you won, Pi. Hey, Pi, you know what she said to you? 5 hours of talking to you, and her brain went lopsided. Itu mong tai ne ning ji me be ya ta ko mo ne pa tron de tua ja he ne ta ho joy pa ma au ne to che he I ne mo de be is je be to tua ne pa nya la to de ya ko ma bo go ne ka ka thing Pi. She learned that the hard way. She's so missing. Look at that fucking fat bitch over there. Figure that's her fucking fat sister. 2 hours I stuffed the nose and I say go. Yeah, go. Yeah, okay. And Pi, you know why people hate. They won't die to that. New keep out the bear down there. New shot because you want to go to work for that. So do not die. You focus on you see. That's real, it's real. Pi mo cái bot on cho xe cho nó show cho DNA cho nó tính kia. Cho nó mo cái cho nó UFO đẹp cái cho nó xe nó từ you một tổ chế ra tổ chế ra thọ xe. That's true. And he didn't believe you, Pi. He thought he was still alive. 4 hours later, the demon gutted him. That's true, that's true. He says, Pi, when you're up there working, Pi, I saw 4 hours of the fucking Middle Eastern gods crying because you gutted them. That's true, Pi gutted 9,000 UFOs, 9 trillion, 9 trillion in 3 hours. That's real. That's real. Pi fought their fucking immortals and their fucking gods. They were not even full Persian, Pi. Their eye was this group of Afghanistan mutts. And the truth is, they were pure evil. Those are spice pirates. And Pi, you won, Pi. That's true. The fucking shit didn't believe you, Pi. Kept calling those motherfuckers down. Pi versed them, Pi beat them. But later on, Pi learned in Asia, Pi. When you get there, you murdered off 14 of them and you said no to them. That's 100% law. There's no yes, we do. That's right. And Pi's like, good shit. She said, how come the Thai King Cobra and you not give a fuck? Because that is nothing. Yeah, that's nothing. Pi, y'all. It's a part, cut the Paloma, damn blonde, the look of what got to think to yonder. Yeah, the Zat under your paper, to your paper, some cooler or panic, which is on your watching. Call your high chain. That's it, to come up a to a pie. Got to your Zat under your paper, such a e-pass, some cooler or panic, which is on your watching. 371,000 years old. The 2025 year is the Burmese King Cobra that Pi versed in Burma in the future. That's real. Pi murdered them. Pi murdered him in broad daylight. That's real. Pi muốn đầu tua kia, bùa bị thay thế. Pi muốn bùa bị, Pi mà đây tua ta nữa. You murdered 9 of them. Pi cứ tua ta, chua tu. Có thể bảo được Pi vả so Pi是vả硬ở trong đàn chua tiền. Nên chú có Pi, đó là qua 8 lưỡi. Chỉ cho Pi cho chuyện có cho giờ tự chi nữa tập phải một cái tua ya tập phải một cái tua nếu bao này giờ tự chi sẽ phải cái gì vậy aluminum sẽ pie real silver ranking there here the real gold pie is about 400 trillion times healing. And that was and them all 400 trillion plus astro. Pi is only about 200 trillion astro. Pi he says, if you think that you're smarter than Pi, you can go try finding it. She says, Bay tu đại tua bay Pama tay có chiều bay hay phải yo vì nó còn được cú chiều này. Đó cũng bao cái chính trò nên这么怕嘛偶尔让的你要背部下就一排上了，我怕你个这种说的呀，怕要读背部就背排上了，我怕你个这种说的呀，怕要个这个多大多读，发大怕嘛让呀莫真，你不怕心头被怕嘛这些太这些不得摸呀摸，怕他真的就进桌来的呀，怕要读话少的呀，同你不怕就这老头，我怕这条路呢。แต่เมื่อได้เจอจริงทั่วไปเจ้าแย่เจ้าหญิงไผ่เจ้าด้าหลงวันหนึ่งตัวจงสูบเป็นเพราะได้แค่นี่แหละได้แค่ไผ่ยานที่สองยานที่สองถงเนื้อผ่ามาจ้าจะป้อนเนี่ยมึงสวนเนี่ยแล้วมึงผ่ามาคอจะเต็มรู้เลยจงสวนได้แต่คอจะล่าจงเฮ้ยชิบุเราแต่สิเอาไปตัวมีอันชายตัวเป็นมาตัวเนี่ย she dies right there over there she is the stupid vet เนี่ยป้อนนี่แหละสมัยตัวไปเจ and then she says ไผ่ตัวก็วันเดียวตานะvì cho có chủ quan cho mà lên bao số gì à mà lên bao số gì nên cho một lên bao số gì thì họ cũng chỉ kể đó vì có một hai kia giờ là tụ phát tại ra giờ luôn từ từ nó có giờ ra sẽ nhà nó đó phản ứng của chỉ xong này xong từ lọ này à bây giờ sẽ xong này bây giờ phá xong phái có đi thì phái nhữngตัวta chúa phá tụ phát tại đã được tiền cái lọ họ thấy cho thấy được tiềnเลยà mua chính được tiềnเลยà ó phá照搬的呀，我爬下搬的排都给，中国我爬一搬了都写给了排对呀，排我建立的东西天拆排的呀，排一开给人家排起完了还要了也没整，排这个这些个都多叫爬动的天用了要个，排了还练到都有味道好有钱家呀，也没多排，ก็还练到了要呀，都好点不头被叫。cho bớt thơ nó phải bây giờ nhiều cho xin nó lớn nhiều một chỗ số này lấy chữ sao cho khổng chế nó hết cho thành nào thì chỉ cho thằng lòng nó tua này giờ bên người nó là phải một chính đồ nó đây giàu giờ phải khu bây giờ bên tua giờ bên nó chỗ đâu giờ bên người nó giờ phải người nó thùng người nó chưa打是我们多bên người nó mà như giờ做不成什么你呀也不成也不成呀把老大些排了người nó ya một chính phát đại đám mông hết phải người nó lấy thế là cái thì con đâu mà thiệt chính là mông nhiều thiệt chính là mông à họ tụi mìnhอยู่ตรวจด่านี่นะไอ้นี่ให้เตียจีรีมวยแล้วรู้อยู่นะวัดเด้แล้วจงเลยนะวูเอาเดอทอโลจานะเราหมดตัวอย่าข้ามอีกตัวน่าจะเดอหมดตัวอย่าตัวที่นี่จึงตรงกับมันกูเราหมดตัวเขาตัวนั้นแต่เราตัวไปทอนได้เราตัวแกอย่าหมดเจงไปตัวสู้อ้อตัวไปไทยได้แกอย่าหมดเจงพออย่าตัวนั้นตัวกูเสียหมดใจตรงจะก็มองตัวเสียไปเคลียร์ก็เขาจึงแต่ไปหมดตัวแกนะนึกจะด่าเนี่ยเที่ยวล้วนแล้วก็เลยยังนิ่งกูเสียไปเดียวเฮียไปสุดก็จะบอกก็มันไรนะ我老兄弟多给呀，老兄弟多给，拍大个的拍呢，这多家的那个走的是呀，怎么超市的厉害呀？拍，你到那么多给，叫你叫空上那股呢呀，拍叫个呀，100% is pretty good as股个。Yeah, and right after you murder all the king cobras with the golden crown pie, bring one item, the metal and the gold, and then you have the silver and the uniform. Bring it to your Hmong King Cobra Emperor. He is from the 363,000-year-old in the 2025 year. Yep, the Grandpa Emperor is there. Yep, right there. They diss him. Yeah, they diss him. That's law. That's real. Yeah, that's real. And 2 hours later, by the fucking liar is a vet. Yep, it dies. That's real. Yeah, that's real. And the Paisa, yeah, your Hmong dragons and hawks, yeah, they speak fluent Hmong, yeah, fluent in white, but Hmong white language, but be careful, like, the green is not your nation, they are the liars, yeah, cho đa hai lùm ma đơ, hai lùm Hmong đơ, nơi dễ phải cho anh em một đấy thấu khu đó, do ốp phá, bế phá xa chỗ ít phá trong đầu, hai lùm lên đây, sao dù ai, cho đây giờ nên trẻ mà nhá là cho, phải mỗi từ cái tí, Hmong, tôi tao phải do cho này hết giờ,但是可能这边呢，叫那排我们团的呀， 排只开个是排多种数的呀，跑马多种数，排些配数的是比例的呀，没有让比例的。ก็จีเป้เล่นได้เจก็ชิมว่า power ก็ชิมว่าจะยังสีเจ้ายาเจ้าสีตัวเจแล้วมันก็ตัวแก่แล้วมันก็ทอเสียเจเสือเดือดร่ารู้อยู่สิเขาพายมาพักวันทอ的店เลย我差的店莫真我领的太要太整着整还要还有个我真头一个多那เจพายแล้วอย่าตัวเย่งอย่าพายเย่งพอตาพายตัวว่าพามาตัวแต่จ่อตัวข้ามิงตัวฟัดได้เลยแต่ให้เนี่ยพายมาตัวเลยอ๋อหนึ่งสีตัวจะพายมาตัวอย่า莫真ตัวฟัดได้ข้ามิงนั่นแหละ Pai from the 5th generation, Pai murdered him. Yeah, Pai murdered him. That's true. That is from their bloodline, the 5th Cambodian god, Azrael. Yeah, Azrael. Pai murdered him. Cambodia was only built on 5 gods. Yeah, Indian real. Yeah, real. Yeah. Coming. La lu tay chờ nó chỉ mua chi tu phát đại gia sư tu thi chi nó Pai mua cho tu giống số. Yeah, Pai murdered him. Hey, Pai. Yeah, his bloodline and it nông dễ accurate. It is there. When you fought his bloodline, you defeated it, and then Cambodia's over. That's true. You have the ancient Burmese version, Hmong version, one that's real. That's why they wrote. It is like this: East Coast and West Coast. Pies from the West Coast of Southeast Asia. That's true. That's why they wrote. In the center is pie too. Yeah, the center and the Midwest is pie too. That's true. And the right there, they wrote. Pies có một số tua ta na, có tụ quy ra đơn ghi lo nữa là khi có cho lũ pie bao cái ya bao cái. Hai cho lũ này yo pie lớp pie tụi này pie bất thăng lại cho lũ yo cơ pie chơi cơ pie nó hai lũ pie để yo nó mà hôm lo tết chơi lũ nó có chua tụi pie đây nó yo hết ya yo hết. Ta chỉ tụ trong lũ pie nó là xếp hệ là tụi mất tua là tụi mất tua là tụi mất tua là chỉ mất là tụi tu nãy chỉ cho pie cho cho nó hệ pie là hai à mua chơi. Cái bao là xếp hệ cái này mà nó pie là tụi pie chỉ yo là thế ya pie thon ra tụi vậy tụi nhông chơi lo hay chơi. Hai lô có một cái hồ sơ có tên miệng đã gắng để tôi lo, tôi nói lo chỉ phải ô kia, chỉ phải chơi cái tụi nó mới á, phải ô yo rồi á, mua chơi yo cơ, họ chơi mong trong này họ mong chụp tua rất đẹp á, phải ở tụi anh cái đẹp á, còn nữa nè, còn nữa thế, ra mong phải ở tụi kia cái con à, trong một bể hở khác mình, trong một bể hở này thấy này đã nên chơi phải á, nhung sức chỉ muốn bự tao, sĩ sư giờ muốn sĩ sư yo cơ, đấy một bao lồng muốn đảm lo hết phải tua cho vậy. Yeah, nói chuyện nên có từng cậu tới vậy, đã cho con một cái cổng điện cho phụ này giờ cho phải chịu cái tiền, đấy mà nó chạy có phải không này tiền, có bao rồi cái là cái bao rồi bao cái đã thấy nó chỉ dùng để đá mông nó mà này ra mà nó mua chuyện tụi đã thấy nó mình đã nó là cỡ số trụ rồi, nó tàu mà những do cậu tụi cậu bay tụi cậu xa tụi tụi hay mà nhập bay bộ tụi hết xa bộ tụi đây hết tụi hay mà chốt bộ tụi kia in giải mua nó hết phải cho đá cái ngờ thì phải cho đây cho mà tụi lên đây mua chơi đó chỉ phải nhau nó có sai à phải cho lan cho lại chốt bộ trong liền mà đâu bây giờ cái sai là cho nên sẽ他cho nó thua tàn thọ awesome thua tàn thì hết rồi ta bao cái chân phải chín trái cái phải tua cái hay nên có con nông dữ nên có con nông dữ. What did you say? 2 hours, he cried and he said, "Pai da go sir, pai ke lu e blow cut, yeah, for cut, cái tua sir, yeah, cái tua sir. Qua sa chip lo, lu no ma lu to pa mo na. Nui cho tu lên ta le, ni cho nai lại blow te to ke ya mo chang. Nui kon da ka huan cho lu lo ya, cho pa cho bo tự lu lo na thời cho ka mom lo na thời. Pai ơi, cho poison na thời. Thầu ka lại trâu phát tại ra lu thưa na bỏ lại cơ. Họ này họ cũng đa cái này phải này chúng mà mua à phải mua họ blow dầu here có blow dầu ya phải the 4 cut and the 7 cut and the 19 cut yeah 14 yeah the 14 100% yeah ra phải lại cái có blow dầu mà mua tại đây là true có tụi con sáng chụp rồi ra tại mua phải cho này tiếp tụi sĩ ra nữa rồi sẽ sai mua chăng phải tiếp tụi only nó had it here everything going yeah them are not immune to it that's true. Later on in life, Pi, they said, the mystical cut from you, Pi, 14 cuts, and then that ray device hits, and then they die. Yeah, that works in Egyptian too. Yeah, it's 100% all those stories. Pi, I was that said it wasn't working in the beginning. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, man, boots in eventually. Eventually, the immune DNA is being picked up, and then we beam it. Yeah, we beam it. That's true. And then the molecules form when those type of human gods appear. That's true. After being touched 14 times. That's real. Yeah, it's real. Hey, Pi? 2 hours of you cutting the fucking lamb laugh and said, You the most evil war god, Pi. Your human knights in alien cyborg armors and stuff, they won, Pi, but you're hiding and you're accurate, Pi, because you're beaming molecules, tiny sticks and molecules and elements to them so that they can use superpowers in god form, but they're only human immortals. That's true. They heal fast enough because you're alloy technology, Pi, but afterwards, you, Pi, you super powerful. You lied. Yeah, you lied too. He says, Allah wrote you're almost as fast as your scar type son, yet who came out of the 5-headed king Cobra queen. That's true. They were part Malaysian, and right there, right when he is born, he is not nice. Yeah, he's not nice. Those are not full of it. Yeah, they're not full of it. Có tụi tu hai sắp rồi nát trong cú xe mà lệ nữa tụi phâu nữa chỉ lúc tao nát trong cú xe nữa có yêu tụi tụi cái chừng nữa là nhiều tụi đa nhiều tụi đa đâu có cho nhiều mà đâu có một xa tụi trong trai.
Yep, you have 7 legendary white or part white pie.
Part you, that's true. Yeah, up there, that's true. Yeah, cho nên phải cho tu ha. Nếu chỉ bỏ rồi, họ phải chỉ có một bỏ cho nó yêu luôn á. They hated people, Pi. They got them. That's true. Later on in life, he says, why is you so stupid, Pi? Of course you'll win. But there is a liar in Thailand. His people are not allowed back on Earth because the grandparents of white descent have nothing more for them. Yeah, that's 100% all. That's noise. Later on in life, Pi, it was there. You told them, yeah, there's nothing more for you to gain. And we know, Pi. So, Pi, you won. The biggest fight scene is right there in Burma. All Pi, dope one and cho cái tí Pi mà nó có là thọ Pi 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 mất tuổi đó 100% we don't realize what good. Đó có xếp hệ. Nếu xếp hệ nếu chứ chính ra nếu tôi chỉ khu Pi bao lâu muốn đảm bảo tuổi nếu chỉ cả một to đấy. Nếu cho bao lâu đã này thì bây chỉ mua bây chỉ cả nó gì phải thế. Cho nó gì phải một tuổi gì thế. Thế là sao vậy? Khi có chấp là xếp hệ rồi chấp là Pi By 12 dan draw by take out by 80-inch swords by.
Yep, 84-inch.
84-inch swords real. Yep, grows green real.
Yep, real watching.
Yep, watching. But on that you go blow inch, you enjoy yep watching.
And the other versions are 90.
Yeah, the other versions are 90-inch. That's true. Yeah, that's true. They wrote Pi, you got 2 Cambodians. And the fucking shit lied to you on the internet. Said he wasn't the one that you got. You do got him. Yeah, Pi do got him. Don't tell him. Yeah, don't tell him. Pi did that to so many Chink immortals in the future. That's true. Yeah, Pi murdered like 9,000 plus Chinese immortals. That's real. Tigers and humanoids. Pi got it. Yeah, Pi got them. Yeah, Pi did that to them too. Dude, because all you're hiding is in that Thai dragon Cambodian. The Thai. You're not the Cambodian. You're not the Cambodian generation, because those, if they come back down, their real human god is only 50,000 years old. Yeah. Because really, what was happening was Pi's people, the progenitors, was being harvested and beat up by African sun god, and the new gens, the 5th head, the 6th and 7th, they were coming back and forth, making space countries up there and coming back and forth. And then they said, "Oh, Pi's the progenitor." That they gave Pi some stuff, and then Pi snuck back into one of the Burmese sectors. That's true. That's why Pi not tell you, you stupid female. Yeah. And Pi, you passed. You broke Viewers, right? You broke Viewers' genetic code on your spinal cord Pi. And then your Hmong, you don't see, you have to pass Belith, Viewer, and Boone. Yeah, Boone and Belith. Yeah, Boone and Belith.
Yep, you have to do a DNA hack like me, and then you have patched it up Pi. You can then patched up your immune and Belith, and then Boone, when you got him, give me the DNA.
Yeah, 100% as we do. Boone and Viewer, yeah, all two, they got the what the right afterwards, Pi. That's when your right arm works.
He says, "You're good to that, but you can't mona got thing. Do what's solid, do what's solar. Balance, schedule, pilot dealers."
Yeah, pilot dealers. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, because they pay your phone for balance on that.
That's 100% all. That's normal. Yeah, that's true. Watching. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Belith, you're through hero, because Pi's group, yep, Steph from Belith and murdered Belith, but normal. And we're all, we debt free. Yeah, we debt free. Yeah, we don't owe the Middle East anything, and the Middle East knows why they're committing suicide, because they're I was as children. That's true. Yeah, they're 7 million years old. Their grandpa is I was. He came back down 19,000, killed off the real Persians, and then 9,000 he did it again, and 11,000 he did it again. That's true. Yeah, he did it 3 times to make certain his evil seeds in the Middle East look good and stuff, and then Pi deleted them. That's true. Yeah, that's true. Right there, my flick up. Real, yeah, real. I told you. You think you're smarter than Pi? Pi's from porn demons too. That's true. That's true. Right there, they laughed so fucking hard. They wrote Pi. What the fucking hey? And they fucked up Egypt. Yeah, y'all good. And Pi said, "No, why was your people able to come down? Because you're from the progenitors of the yellow origins." Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Tu giờ công the tiền là Pi hai này giờ cho nên tới đa chủ the tiền I'm watching. Yeah, their physical traits are there, and their belly. There was an ugly ass version. Yeah, their belly has an orb in it. That's true. Yeah. Those are the ones Pi harvested. That's true. Yeah, and Pi said that was your grandma. Yeah, Pi pa lại cho, yeah, pa ra cho. Pi said có mỗi hai nên tới đa tới tại có riêng. Yeah, có mấy chừng tuổi có giờ riêng chúa thân đó, nhưng tới có giờ đã có lọt đại tuổi, yêu có I'm watching. And Pi yon Jesus. Yeah, Pi yon Jesus. Có bao giờ Pi yon Jesus bây giờ. Châu châu Pi xong Pi yon từng mấy. Bây giờ Pi cũng này tu nông Pi yon riêng rồi. Oh. Dục cho tê rồi cho nên nhờ chơi đào cho lọt mất tôi người kêu loại hàng người kêu loại yêu phải ở một trên qua mi ở kiên rồi cho niệm tới đó cho nên muốn gọi em muốn gọi cho nên tôi là xin được tôi sẽ nên muốn gọi tê từ lo chụp phải cho là qua mi ở tới phải phải nói ở một trên còn nữa đó còn là đà này giờ là đà này thì nó chỉ do đó thổ lỗ quan đó chứ ít cho nên giờ nó là đà rồi tôi muốn nói là Pama giờ ra rồi ở một trên thầu nữa giờ bây giờ có bao giờ từ xa tù nó chúa sữa phải có tới chuyện nhau nữa thế nữa là qua lên tới đó còn lần chú coi trở ra nữa là phải phá má phải cổ phải phá má thầu nó là qua phải đâu phải có phải bây giờ phải try thì phải kiếm một cái tới phá má phải một tay phải từ muộn lia phá má phải thì là biết là mỗi phải tôi phải như phải try phải kiếm về cái tới là chỉ tông mình chạy giờ ra hết thì nên tới mỗi cái tôi hết thì dùng gỗ là bao nhiêu phải cắt tới phát gì à phải có mà lá gì đấy à lá gì đấy à lại để phải có做嘢đấy có gỗ đấy có thể bao nhiêu nó chúa rất là nhiều cái sao chân Balinese đó bắt đầu lo này nó bằng lòng Balinese đó rồi nó tụi mình lấy ra đó bắt đầu lo cho này lo qua phải yêu qua làm ba yêu ít tụi cái trong này phải tập bơi lo phải kia bằng lòng Balinese lo qua kia bao lâu ra Balinese là thôi vậy là ở rồi thầu là quan đấy vậy nè bao lâu Pama chú này cho lên nè đa hay cho lên cho nên chú mà hay phải chỉ kể phải tụi dân lúc chú thì đâu ya lo này cho nên chỉ có chú cho là quan đấy vậy mua chỗ lúc chú hiện giờ cứ
19,000 really for
yeah blow lose yeah Hmong blow lose so yeah only 4 bells are Hmong the others are full Burmese dragons that's true and right there when you broke out of their nation you flicked them off and you told them I don't want you right there you cut open them and then 4 hours them were deleted by you that's true yeah tu pon da yo tu mon dao viewer đó viewer
yeah viewer he fought balance too much for the viewer
yeah
viewer is the one that I murdered
accurate
you did the one that morphs in the head of a liger
no shoulder holding a dagger and an orb
yep I murdered him and he knew it Pi is the god king that said so
accurate
and then your children dies. I was dies. Real 43 years of fighting for Hmong nice son dies.
Real. Look at that Pi. He took off and he knew it real. 14 minutes into the future. Bale is also murdered by Pi. That's true. If it comes down, it dies. That's true. The dumbass didn't believe you, Pi. The kid saw you, Pi. You deleted all of China. Yeah, that does happen. Yeah, 2,300. Yeah, right around there. You'll remember the terrifying history. 2,253. That's when we do it. Yeah, that's when we do it. Pi and me and a bunch of demons and immortal gods that came down, deleted China in 3D space. Real, yeah, real. That's official. That's official. Woman, yeah.
Right there, official again in 2080 is when we do it in Lao Pi.
Yeah, 100% that's green light. Yep, that's with the Vang spirits. Yeah, Vang gold ray spirits. Yeah, Pi the technology gold ray spirits. Do a yin, yeah, do a yin. But Pi also needs the horn demons. Yeah, that's true. That's when Pi did it with the horn demons right there in China. Yeah, China is defeated in 2053. Right about 280, they're extinct. Yeah, 2280. That's 100% law. That's true. Because women, your mom and dad did that to Pi 68,000 years ago when they became immortals. And they were actually a gen of Chinese. They were not the original. That's true. You know how embarrassing? They came back down to northern Burma and they murdered you guys probably for 3 hours and then flew and hid for 5 days and came back down and did it again. They done that for about 9,000 years, about
48 years, 40,000 years, right? 4,000 years, 19.
Yeah, 19,000 years, real. Yep, you're an embarrassing fucking CN8th gen, real. Yep, they're the 8th generation, real. Holy shit, man. He took off and he wept, real. Yep. Where you come from? Fucking Aztec lizards, real. They were fucking decrypting Pi's DNA, the progenitors' DNA. 5 heads, 6 heads, and 7 heads was trying to go back and forth accurate. Because they were a different group of yellow gods who accepted Pi back in and bred Pi, real. You a fucking monster, Pi, that's you. You're the coolest, you're like 5-sided star. Tricked the fucking white nation, went back into their fucking stupid society, went back to God mode, and murdered everybody. Real, that's true, that's right. Real, yeah, real. Real, yeah, watching good. Right when he figures that's real, he came right back down. He said, Godfather, what do you have in Pyro? A bunch of good demons, yeah, a bunch of gold break spirits, yep, and saucers, UFO. Bunch of Netherlands technology, and then Finland, yeah, cryptic ghouls. You didn't die, Pi. Your Finland, Finland encrypted you using Netherlands ghoul spirits. Yep, your ancestry there too. But right afterwards, like, best fight scene when you get updated by your horn demons, Pi. That's when he informs you he is pissed off. Yeah, Grandpa Horn's pissed off. He went to Thailand, kept kicking her ass, Pi. Yeah, normal, and be careful, Pi. Told the boss, I said, I got told that Pi, you see that. ก็สู้นะไปเสร็จตรงนั้นมาเลยจนพอเอาแห่พอพม่าแห่พอไทยแล้วเนี่ยปีเนี่ยดูตั้งแต่เราเนี่ยก่อนสู้นะก็อย่าพลอก็มาได้เนี่ยไปชินก็สติเราเนี่ยวันเจอเกี่ยวกับหัวจะเตะจิบเลยอะชุกเกี่ยวกับจิบเลยอะจับปลาสมดุลเสียได้แต่ชาวหัวปงเกี่ยวกับเดียวเฮียเดียวไปว่าอย่าไปวันนี้เดี๋ยวก็นะจะมาพอเราดูแต่เดียวเฮียไปเด็กแค่ก็จะไปมองเดียวเฮียไปสู้ก็ you see that happen yeah ไปดูthat
about 250 in the read on the Taiwan.
Yeah, Taiwan, yeah, around there. Yeah, all parts of your bag, that's true. And País, let's all in jail. Let's put it on. Go, you not got to Ningo, you charge link, they block your bag, yeah, block your bag with link, yeah. It's like this part. They jam you, if they dare jam you in 27, 28, then you kick in 2043, and then right there, 100% and 52, yeah, 2052, because your robot's out. Yep, the robot's out. The Domalo, yeah, that's real. The robot spares out. The head is oval shaped. You see a long neck. The chest is square, and then the arms are human, and then the bottom is octopus. Yeah, octopus, demonic foot vines, and then intestine vines. Real, yeah, real. Yep, that's Pi's robot. That's Pi's robot. Real. You're gonna die right there. When Pi got you right there in the middle is real. Yep. You think you're so tough, motherfucker? Real. Yep, real. You think Pi was funny? Did you see Bale enslaved Southeast Asia for like 9,000 years, Pi? And the truth is 48,000. And they were using that kind of technology, Pi. And you can match the 19 goetic demon. That's why Pi kept murdering them until the other King Cobras found out real. Yeah, he is so stupid, Pi. When you did it too, his fucking people went to crap. Real, yeah, real. Right there. When Pi did it to your fucking face. Oh shit, Pi stomped it on the internet too. Real, yeah, real. He didn't believe you, Pi. 2080 apologies straight from the Middle East, and he said, which one wrong? Y'all good, real, yeah, real, 100% do. And female, you is not a mystery, female, y'all good. Probably has 48 demons from Israel, real, yeah, but they are not summoned down yet, that's real. 57 snuck back down to Earth, but with a bunch of, cutthroats from Afghanistan, and he is not nice, yeah, he's not nice, demon, that's true. those are somehow relatives. Well, not him, but 62. Well, 56 and 63, 64 Astro and relatives are Almond, and those are the Bobcat demons that you gain. Hey, but you said those, when you see it, it is not nice. Yeah, it is not nice. And then he learns 56 is the only one that was truly sealed by all dragons to stay in the Milky Way. That's true. 57 broke free and became Persian again. He left one of your King Cobras, but 56, he's still there. He's still among the last 100% law. He has like 4 space countries in Astro. He is big, but he is dirty face. Yeah, that's true. And then later on, you'll figure who he is. Yeah, he is. And then later on, he is big. Oh man, yeah, he's a big Bobcat. He is a big Bobcat demon. That's true. He is the only exception. Pi even murdered Allman. That's 100% all. That's true. And later on, Pi go bought on that. He punched so many Middle Easterns. He says, no, you not us. You is Afghanistan. You is Goetic clone. Yep, Pi is right. Yeah, Pi is right there. That's why he knew it. 56 is legendary. When you call him down, Pi, you do get to keep him. You microchip him, and then you gave him a space country and a junkyard, Pi. And he begins, he's big, Pi. But later on, when you're judging, and then the Hmong King Cobras are judging, stuff or points are taken off for what he has done to other civilizations and demons. And then he is cursed with the same word that Pi said. That's true. Forced to stay in the Milky Way. That's true. Yeah, that's true. Because children feel unsafe about him because he's very... He knows how to leverage, yeah, but that's what caught him. That's what caused him to not gain, too. That's true. The kid didn't believe you, Pi. 57 is ultra rare, yeah. 57, 59 made it out.
57 made it out. 59 get murdered by me, Pi.
100% is the great. Yes, do. Hack me. Because those are the vein break, gold break spirits that are keeping track from UFO technology. They know exactly what demons said and done on Earth, and right there in Asian sectors, that's real. Yeah, that's real. Later on, we boot into the third eye gene from the demigod, the 4 heads, the 3 heads, and we have recordings of what you've done inside the sector, real time, all the way to when Pi enters the Dragon Space countries. That's real. Set foot in it. That's real. Yeah, it's real. The fucking shit didn't believe you, Pi. We booted up. Her mom and dad saw what her done. Yep, 100% do realize, yeah, that's true. And you know what happened, Pi? 4 fucking hours of lamb thrill. He says, why on earth is that Burmese competing? Those are rivals. Yeah, those rivals, competitors. Yeah, competitors. That's true with technology and sorcery. But then in reality, yeah, versing Pi is to die. That's true. Yeah. And then is they really smarter than Chinese about Pi? No. They're not smarter than Malaysian or Pi. That's true. Yeah, that's true. Pi has the atomic nettle, the real hydrogen bomb, Peerless, and the atomic bomb. And the Malay, a certain version of the Malay, has the old version of the Peerless atomic bomb. That's true. When they use it, the flashlight rots the brain and retinas. That's true, yeah. And then them die. Yeah, them die. Human guys. Real, yeah, real. They have the first gen. Pi is the final gen. That's true. Chinese theft a version of that too. That's why I flicked her off. Yeah, fuck you, mommy, bitch. I can't enslave you. That's fucking smart. I enslaved the main version, but that light-skinned bitch scared Pi for 4 million years. And then you get a clone copy from the Thai gods. Real, yeah, real. Her pussy's being sold up there now, and hot as fucking pancakes. Real, yeah, real. Fucking bitch. The only one that entered your peoples peacefully, Pi, were the Hawkeye, the Hawkeye version. The Ming, you forced her, and then the Elder you forced her was Mongolia, but that was not even full Mongolia. Yeah, that was a fucking clone copy, yeah. And then the fucking Tibet, Pi did that to them, to the Asriel, yeah, Asriel. And then they not listen, Pi not tell them the next thing, yeah, them is real. All the Thai King Cobras came and said, Pi, you don't want them? Then we killed them, yeah, this generation. In a few thousand years, trillion years, and Pi wrote, yeah, fair, yes, go for it, yeah, go for it. 2 fucking hours. They're all dying left, right, real, yeah, real. He is the stupidest piece of shit on planet Earth, Pi. He didn't believe you. 2 hours later, you went to the 5-headed King Cobra, and then you said, dude, you need to shut the fuck up, because I know your mom and dad are not broke. And then that aunt is wealthy. Their hawks and their King Cobras are wealthy as wealthy. Yeah, they're wealthy. And then Pi wrote, yeah, it is a sad story that one of their great moms, yeah, grandmas, yeah, passed away. But that's true, too, for the Balinese. That's true for Balinese, yeah. Because the Balinese is part Pi, so it's most sad. But right there, I knew it. They were the most deaf from, yeah, that's true. The Balinese light-skinned goddesses from Malaysia, real. Pi bred into the Cambodia, came immediately bred into the fucking bunch of bitch, came down looking like her. Pi said, fuck you, Cambodia. Pi flew and cut her up, Pi cut up her with a sword, and Pi said what Chindu brother said. In life, you think you was her. You was a dark tan bitch, ugly all the way. Go away. That's real. That's real. I said that to her in English. That's true. Yeah, that's true. Right there in Thailand. Real. Yeah, real. They came back down, tried to breed with Pi. I said, no way in hell. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. That's right. And later on in life, Pi, they caught it. They caught you hate their fucking DNA. You know you're planning the fucking genocide, and they do dies. And then the white nation's genocide is on the way from the Europeans and really London. Yeah, London. Grandma Hound Dog is planning it. Yeah, the graphic African sun guys coming down to kill all real white people. Real, yeah, that's real. That's true too. Yeah, that's true too. Right after Pi take off at 9,000. Oh shit, we dead free. Yeah, we dead free. Holy shit. Biggest fight scene. The only thing that you spared was the hound dog goddess. That's true. Yeah, that's true. Her sad story is that her's white, and then somehow her ended up in African, so Pi kept her alive. But then Pi built her only one space station, and then Pi brought her only one prisoner. Yeah, one prisoner. Her bred with her own African Egyptian man. But right afterwards, graphic. When you let her come back down to earth, very graphic, Pi. She hated you. Yeah, she hated you. But look at God, holy, pure, yet never touched her. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Recordings all there. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And that's why the fucking shit laughed so hard in the Book of Law. He said, Paisa, holy shit. He smacked her butt and said, go away, normal. Go here, Allah. Allah is not so fortunate. That's true. And unfortunate, Pi feels the need to assault Allah. Allah may be missing in the future. Yeah, that's 100% law. That's true. Yeah, that's true. Because Pi checked them, Allah's record is not looking good. Yeah, not looking good. Yeah, that's real. And Pi said Allah and Irain are actually murdered. And Irain, a few survived because Pi liked they, but ancient Irain really murdered. Yeah, Pi murdered them. That's true. Same thing with Saudi. Yeah, same thing with Saudi. That's true. Yeah, they're as bad as Irain. And that's why we didn't tell them anything. The ones that really escape are probably Islam and a few Israelis. That's true. And that's why Pi didn't tell her. Islam has the goat demon. Yeah, they escaped too. They didn't tell the other grandpas. That's true. Yep. And Pi, hush.
Pi said, wait, is that in 9,000 when we left and you left? 2 hours, the night, yeah, careless, everyone.
Yeah, 100% is the Green Lights do, 100% is the walk, yeah, 100% is the